You never met a motherfucker. Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for
boom, shakalaka boom. You're tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on the 50,000 MAGA Watt Flame Thrower 1039 WYAB. We're streaming worldwide on the Mazda Jackson live stream over at Save JXN on YouTube and X, at Clay Edwards Show on Facebook, Rumble, Twitch. That's it, right? Facebook, Rumble, and Twitch. We will be on Facebook for the first segment or two of the show, and then you will need to relocate over to the Save JXN YouTube or X, preferably. And if you like Rumble, Clay Edwards Show. If you prefer Twitch for our younger demographic out there, we're on Twitch as well. Search Clay Edwards Show. Good morning to everybody out there. If you want to text the show, the LS Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. We're powered by the free testosterone screenings right over there at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness, Gluckstadt, Mississippi. You can text my name, CLAY, to 601-633-9017. 633-9017. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, that's right, man. We hadn't sent the first one out yet. I'm trying to get them numbers up a little bit. Like I told you, we're not going to spam you unless it's something we really need to talk to you about or something very special to share with you. I can share stuff on social media if I just want to share stuff, but we're trying to build up an exclusive VIP email list. You can go to, it's real simple. It's a little long, but it's simple. Clay Edwards Show. We've established that's the name of this adventure. ClayEdwardsShow.kit.com. ClayEdwardsShow.kit.com. Put your email address in, hit subscribe, and then immediately check your spam mail. I don't know why that does this, but most likely it's going to go to your spam mail. It may not, but if you don't see it, check your spam mail. Then hit confirm, and boom, you're in. That way, I'm not just taking your email, shoving it in there because I have your email. You have signed up and you want to get emails from me. Very simple, right? That way you're not, just getting added to email lists, which I'm not above doing that, by the way. But I would rather y'all want to receive the emails from me. So if I get fired from the radio station tomorrow or I get kicked off social media, I've got a way to reach out to my audience. And of course, you can always text me on the LS Autoplex text line, and I do try to save all those numbers as well at 769-241-1944. All right. I'm flying solo today. No guest, no co-host, no anything. It's at me, a microphone, a camera, an FM radio signal, and you. And I got a lot I kind of want to get off my chest. I do. Because we haven't had a time together, just us, in a while. And that's fine too. I've enjoyed having company in here. But every now and then, I want to get back to just us. Because it's hard to 100% kind of get into the zone I like to get into all the time when I've got somebody across from me. That's no offense to anybody, by the way. That is just human nature. It's like if you do this for a living, and you get as animated as I can tend to get, it's a little different when somebody's looking across at you other than yourself. Maybe if I put a mirror up and I saw how ridiculous I looked, I wouldn't do it as often. I'm trying to get to something here real quick. I want to address one thing before we get started because it feels like the 800-pound gorilla. I know that a lot of you have seen it over the weekend. A former guest on this show got himself in some trouble over the weekend. I'm going to my Facebook profile. I shared this so I wouldn't lose it. It's harder to save links from Facebook for some reason. All right. Real quick. First off, thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday. there's no way I could take the time to go back and thank everybody on Facebook personally. I've tried to reply to every text and I did not succeed, but thank you all for the birthday wishes yesterday. Very much appreciated. Just the fact you take 2 seconds out of your day to send a happy birthday meant a lot to me. I know I didn't get a chance to reply to everybody. I may actually try later this afternoon because it's something I've always prided myself in, is going back through and personally thanking everybody. But if I don't get a chance, I just want to say that now. Thank you to every single person who took the time out of their day to wish me happy birthday. It meant the world to me. It really did. And real quick, before we get into this, I told y'all we went to McBee's Lakeside. If I didn't tell you, I'm telling you now. We went and tried out the new McBee's Lakeside for the soft kind of private grand opening Sunday night there at Lake Caroline. And they knew it was my birthday. And they did something really cool that I've never seen a restaurant do before. They have like a birthday, if they know it's your birthday, they have like a birthday card that they put kind of on the table, on like a menu holder. And everybody that works there, they see it there, they know it's there. I guess they tell everybody birthday on table, whatever. And instead of them coming by and singing happy birthday to you, they come by, they sign the card, and they tell you happy birthday. And I've got this card. I got a picture of it. I guess I will load it up on the Facebook here in a minute, or load it up. Yeah, you know what? Well, I'll do it during the break. I'll share it on Facebook and all the appropriate sites. But I thought that was really neat. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't like the birthday song. I really don't. It's a little embarrassing. Believe it or not, I don't like being the center of attention when I go places. I want to be the center of attention on the show here. But when I leave here, I don't want to be the center of attention. You learn to be careful what you wish for. But when you go somewhere like that and they do that, I thought it was really neat. So kudos to Michael and his team and everybody out there at McBee's Lakeside for what I thought was a really, really well-ran soft grand opening. And I think their official grand opening is this weekend, this Friday. Let me double check here real quick before we move forward. I had Michael tell me the other day. Well, I thought I asked this. Oh, yeah. Friday. Friday's the first day that reservations will announce Thursday how to sign up. All right, so Thursday, be listening Thursday. They'll announce how to make reservations for Friday. So it will open this upcoming weekend. All right, let's jump into it. The whole ordeal with Jamie Childress, Jamie Childress, that owns About Time Brawling. Jamie, was on the show once, I think, and we've promoted their events, not through the radio station. They never actually bought a schedule, but we did some trade out stuff. I'd go set up at their event to sell my shirts and whatnot, and they wouldn't charge us. And we would just kind of did a little swap out, little promo from me for a booth space to sell my stuff. Easy breezy. Well, look, I didn't know about it at the time. I didn't know, obviously, but I started getting some messages Sunday morning, maybe, telling me, hey, I know you're going to end up making a video about this deal with Jamie. I'm like, I don't know about it. Somebody bring me up to speed here. What are we talking about? Maybe it was Saturday night, but over the weekend, we'll just say that. And we'll come to find out he's the guy that was coming back from Vicksburg and had a high-speed pursuit, wrecked his vehicle, rolled it a couple times. Initially, I'd heard that it may be something narcotics involved. And I was like, well, that's weird. Okay. But whatever. And then before we could get to the show Monday, I heard that it was something involving sexual affairs with a minor. And I believe that's where it's currently at. I think what I've been told is a 17-year-old, he's a grown man. He's every bit of my age, 51 years old. And I hear allegedly having an affair, having sexual affairs with a 17-year-old that he may have been training or something like that. Again, the details are sketchy. I don't want to say too much and be wrong because all that's not really out there. It is, but it isn't, depending on which news source you're checking. the Vicksburg Post or Vicksburg Gazette or whatever that's called over there, the Daily Vicksburgian. I don't know. That's the article I saw that said something about sexual affairs with a minor. I did a little digging. Somebody said they think it was somebody he was doing some training with or something like that, which that would go to grooming. Anyway, bad deal. Ain't no two ways around it. Well, Clay, why ain't you made a FAFO video about him? I've seen the stuff online. So just let me address that head on here. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt that I have personal relationships with or professional relationships with this guy. And I give everybody else the same grace. Like, say, for instance, you did this for a living, or you make social media content for a living where you talk about criminals and crime. I believe there's a thing called conflict of interest. And I would not expect you to sit around and give somebody the same treatment you give a complete stranger. I wouldn't hold you to that same what's the word I'm looking for? Standard. I wouldn't hold you to that same standard. Or I wouldn't rephrase it. I guess I would hold you to the same standard I'm holding myself to. And that's just the way it is. We'll talk about it. We'll address it. But if you think I'm going to come over here and double tap and FAFO and all that, I'm not. Nor would I expect you to do that with somebody you know. Will I do it to a complete stranger? Absolutely. But I told you, we retired the FAFO championships. We don't do those anymore. We retired it with the mayor of Jackson and Jody Owens. Now I'll sit here and tell you, he's innocent until proven guilty, but it ain't looking too good. It ain't looking too good. Innocent people don't run from the police. They just don't. But I've also always said I treat people how they treat me. He's always treated me well. I'll repay that favor as much as I can. If what he did is true and he's guilty of that, it's pitiful, it's shameful, it's disgusting. And the state of Mississippi will see to it that he pays for those crimes. And that's what it's looking like he's going to do. As far as the business of About Time Brawling, which, I hate that because I know a lot of fighters that are just destroyed by this. Probably will never fight again. Because there's not another promotion really like that in the state of Mississippi. So this hits way bigger than just this guy ruining his life. By the way, he was married. We're about to read his wife's statement here. Y'all need to leave her alone. People messing with his wife, she's a victim too in this. You think she was cool with him going off, allegedly having an affair with another woman, much less a minor? Hell no. And now she's stuck to clean up the mess. And got people harassing her about money for tables, and because they had all these events booked and stuff. And it pre-sold tables and tickets and all this stuff. And man, it's a terrible situation. Terrible, terrible situation. Period. So just be mindful of that. And I know I probably sound like a big ass hypocrite up here. Well, Clay, you don't ever do that. I don't. You're right. But one thing I never do is go after the people's families. That's one thing I never do. I will go hard after a criminal I don't know. I will. But if it's somebody I know, I give them the benefit of the doubt. It's human nature. This ain't the first time I've done it on this show. I'll be 100 with y'all. There's been other times I've done it. We had a previous sponsor on this show that when we first got started, sold a bunch of generators to people. Didn't collect, I guess, got the deposits and didn't provide the generators. Went to jail, lost his business, lost everything. We talked about it briefly, but it wasn't something I've spent a whole lot of time talking about. I think that's just human nature, right? Always paid his bills with me. Donated to the homeless when we did fundraisers and events. I mean, was the first person to meet me at Walmart when I said, "Hey, I need some help raising some winter clothes for shower power." Met me at Walmart in Pearl, spent $500 on jeans, socks, pants, all that stuff. So people are complex. People are complicated. And I think that's probably where Jamie falls. And again, what he did, if he did what he's accused of, disgusting. And he will pay. The state of Mississippi will make sure he pays his debt to society. I want to read this post from his wife real quick, and we're going to take a break and move on from this topic. Says, she says, I want to address the messages I have, and I'm not going to say her name out there. It's just Childress is her last name. Says, I want to address the messages I have received regarding refunds, sponsorships, tables, tickets, and other money connected with About Time Brawling. First and foremost, I am not hiding. I am not disappearing, and I am not avoiding this situation. I understand why people want answers. As previously announced, About Time Brawling is no longer operating, and I am in the process of bringing the company to an end. However, About Time Brawling is an LLC. It does not legally disappear because I announced the operations were ending. There are proper legal and administrative steps that must be taken to wind up the company, addressing its assets and obligations, and ultimately dissolve it. I am in the process of determining and completing those steps. I also need people to understand the financial position in which I have personally been left. I was left with approximately $21 available to me. I have since learned that funds were withdrawn from accounts and that an account was closed. I can document the condition of those accounts to which I have access. I do not have the money that people are contacting me about. I also do not have access to the Venmo, Cash App, or other payment accounts that were under Julian's control. I do not have the password or access necessary to review those transactions. I cannot tell you where money is when I genuinely do not know. These are not circumstances I chose or created. I did not choose to be placed in the position. Nevertheless, I am the person who is still here, and an enormous amount has been placed on my shoulders to sort through. I know there are sponsors who have questions. I know people purchased tables and tickets. I know people paid money in good faith, and I understand why people are concerned. However, I need to be very clear about communicating going forward. This post is in response regarding the situation at this time. I will not be responding individually to Facebook messages, comments, or repeated requests for information. This is not meant to be rude, dismissive, or disrespectful. I work full-time as a teacher during the school day. My responsibility is my students. I am teaching, and I will not be monitoring Facebook or answering messages while I am responsible. When I leave work, my responsibilities do not stop. I have papers to grade, parents to contact, laundry to wash, a home to maintain, and all of the ordinary responsibilities, supporting and taking care of myself. On top of those things, I am now trying to sort through financial records, accounts, legal questions, regulatory matters, company assets, and the proper winding down of an LLC. I simply cannot spend my days or evenings individually answering the same questions through Facebook Messenger. I have been in contact with the Mississippi Athletic Commission and have reached out again today. I understand the commissioner is also handling the enormous workload related to everything that is occurring. I fully expect that he will return my calls when he is able. He has been trying to help me navigate the situation appropriately, and I appreciate that. I am not going to repeatedly call while he is working through his own responsibilities. I am also seeking legal guidance so I can determine exactly what I am responsible for, what authority I have, what steps must be taken with the LLC, and how its outstanding financial matters and assets must legally be handled. There are also assets associated with the business that I cannot simply sell or dispose of on my own. Ownership interests are involved, and I will not sell, transfer, or dispose of property until I have legal guidance confirming what I have the authority to do and how any proceeds must be handled. If you paid money connected with About Time Brawling and I believe you are owed money, please preserve your receipts. Oh, so it says if you paid money connected with About Time Brawling and believe, not and I believe, and believe you are owed money, please reserve your receipts, screenshot payments, confirmations, messages, or any other documentation showing that you paid, when you paid it, and how you paid it, and what the payment was for. I cannot promise anyone when, how, or whom a particular financial obligation will be resolved. I do not currently possess the funds, records, account access, or legal information necessary to make promises that I cannot guarantee. What I can tell you is this: I am not running, I am not hiding, I did not disappear, and I do not have the money people are asking me to return. I am working, I am supporting myself, I am obtaining and preserving documents. Okay, this is kind of a bit long-winded there, but here's the deal. She's kind of repeating herself a little bit. That woman is left in a bad situation herself. I mean, suffice to say, barring some really freaky stuff, she probably ain't know what was going on. I'm 99.999% sure if I had to bet it all on black that she didn't know what was going on, I'd bet it all on black that she didn't know what was going on. And now she's having to work through this. I imagine a broken heart, finding out your significant other is doing that, or at minimum been arrested for that, life turned upside down, all of that. Bad situation for that woman to be in. So everybody out there, I would be reserving how I was treating her. So, all right, that's really all I got to say about that. I didn't want to feel like people was, oh, why are you ignoring it? Why are you running from it? This is my first opportunity to get a chance to talk about it on the radio. I didn't want to have this conversation yesterday while I had a guest in here. It's kind of a sensitive conversation. So here we are. We're talking about it. Why didn't you say something about it online yesterday? Well, I think this is the bigger platform than the internet. I reserve the most important topics for the radio show. It's just that simple. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Judge Jeff Reynolds over in Jackson, Mississippi, is laying down some really, really big bonds on, well, sexual offenders. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you save Jackson. I think Judge Reynolds is off to a hell of a start with a lot of these super high bonds he's given these sexual offenders over there in the last couple of weeks and months. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 1039 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Your phones to ring away. Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WIAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the crap show, the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. I'm posting my birthday card on my Facebook from the McBee's Lakeside, as I was talking about in that last segment there. So I'm multitasking here real quick as we come back on from the my birthday card from the McBee's Lakeside staff. Really cool concept. Instead of singing happy birthday, let me not type concert. Instead of singing, if I don't do this now, I'll never do it. Happy B-Day song. This is epically compelling radio, isn't it? Their grand opening is this Friday. Follow them for more information. Boom, shakalaka boom. There you go. Yeah, man, great experience out there. I got the fried chicken fettuccine Alfredo, but you can get it grilled or blackened as well. And you can swap out chicken for shrimp. You can do fried shrimp, grilled shrimp, or blackened shrimp. The girlfriend got fried shrimp, and I ate, I think, half of her shrimp. I'm not a big shrimp guy. I'm really not, but I love big old golden brown fried shrimp. The only thing missing was maybe something to dip it in, but it wasn't really, it was brought out to, roll in the pasta sauce, but it was real good. Real good. They have these little fried chicken thigh bites. They got a nickname for them that don't say fried chicken thighs, but it's basically just chicken nuggets that are thigh meat, and they're battered and marinated. And oh my, I love fried dark meat. I used to not, but now I do. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, that might be one of the new best appetizers out there in all of restaurant land. Real good. And I got the mozzarella sticks. Y'all know how I feel about mozzarella sticks. The Caesar dressing on the salad was great too. Real good. Real good. Let's see here. They're called chickenese. Chickenese. I can't pronounce this word. C-I-C-H-I-C-K, chickaroonies. Chickaroonies. Y'all remember that Vanilla Ice song? What it's like? Having a roni. All right. Back to the news here. We are powered by that free testosterone screening. Apparently, I need to take a shot. I'm over here doing what it's like having a roni on the air this morning. Let's get back to the serious stuff. I will read your live chats. If you want to drop a chat on the Mazda Jackson live stream, I will get to those, I promise. The Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. All right, let's go from one bad situation to another. I told you what we were going to talk about yesterday. 3 more alleged sex offenders received a very high bonds over in Jackson Municipal Court in Judge Jeff Reynolds' court. Now, look, I don't know Jeff, never met him to the best of my knowledge, but can we take a moment, golf clap, for Judge Reynolds? Multiple back to back high bonds. And this is how you cut down on, what is it called, recidivism? How about repetitive FAFOing? Is you give criminals such high bonds that, you know what, they might just not be able to get out of jail. That's what I'm talking about right there. Why even give them an opportunity to get out. And these guys are with an extra layer of sick. These guys are sick. One of them especially, and I'm pulling up the link here now. Y'all bear with the brother 1 second. As always, I thought I had the link saved in my notes, but I got to pull it up on WLBT. All right, here we go. It says 3 more individuals arrested by JPD on sex crimes have received high bonds in Jackson Municipal Court on Monday. And if you're watching on the live stream there, we're going to go left to right with their names. Camarius Lewis on the left, Marquise Wright in the middle, and Hashim bin made their initial appearance, where they each received bonds in the millions and millions in connection with their alleged offenses. Lewis, 20. Now, this is a sick SOB right here, and the one thing I'm a little surprised with is his bond is only $2 million. He has been charged with statutory rape, and here's the sick, if it could be worse, he found a way to make it worse. According to information revealed in court, he had allegedly gave his victim not one, 2 STDs. Doesn't list which ones. I saw a big billboard. You want to talk about wasted money? These are people that need to be spending money on the Clay Edwards show for advertising. If you just want to give some money away, and I'm not saying it's wasted by giving it to me, people might actually hear the message. It's a big billboard as you're riding into Rankin County. Now, they usually have these all around what I call the 220 I-2055 loop around Jackson, the Jackson Loop. But this one is if you're heading east on 20, as soon as you cross over the bridge, the Pearl River Bridge, if you go straight, it takes you into Pearl and Brandon. If you kind of stay on the right, you get off on 49. There's a big billboard right there that says cheated on in big letters. It says get checked for STDs. Man, most people don't know they got cheated on is the thing, right? Anyway, I heard a horrible story about something like that the other day, and somebody got AIDS. Terrible, terrible story. Anyway, so Lewis received a $2 million bond for statutory rape and the transmission of multiple STDs. Right, the man on the end, he got the worst of this. 26 years old, received an $8 million bond or $2 million per charge. The Hinds County Detention Center website shows he is charged with 1 count of statutory rape, 1 capital kidnapping, and 1 exploitation of children, which sounds like more than one, right? There's a 4th charge, but it's unclear what that is. Bond also was set at $2 million for Ben, who's 26, on 1 count of capital rape. So I actually had that right. Wright is the one in the middle. My apologies. Wright is the one in the middle. And Hashim bin got a $2 million bond. And I can't pronounce is why I'm saying it like that. There's no reason, no way, no how those words go together in that order to spell anything. So we got as his last name. And until otherwise specified, that will be his last name moving forward. It starts with a Y. So I think I got the there. All right, let's take a break real quick. These guys were arrested by JPD between August 14th and 16th. You know, kudos to JPD. They've had a rash of these types of arrests. There was a white guy a couple days ago. We made a big FAFO video, not FAFO, but we made a big video about it. And Judge Reynolds gave him a really high bond. Judge Reynolds also gave the bond, I think it's a $250,000 bond for the felon in possession of a firearm for the boyfriend of the girl they found hanging in the tree, Tasia. But you know who we haven't heard say a word about that hanging? Not a word. The mayor too, but the police chief, Miss Dr. Chief. Miss Social Justice, black women, strong, independent black women, ain't said a word about this national high-profile hanging, which in my mind means she's let it, pun intended, hang out there. That this could have been some kind of white supremacy, instead of stepping up real quick and saying, no, we do not have a roving band of white supremacists running around Jackson, Mississippi, hanging black folks. We have domestic situations that are spun out of control and black folks hanging black folks. But she ain't done that. See, she could take a big old fire extinguisher to this and put the fire out, but she, for whatever reason, and we know why, has chosen not to do that. And that's where Clay Edwards has a problem. And that's where I have a problem with a lot of this stuff. We're going to talk about some more. We're about to, for the first time in a few days, we're about to bust this Nolan Wells case with bat wide open and talk about some of that I haven't spoke on in a few days, because frankly, I was just burnt out, but I'm unburnt and I'm ready to go scorched earth. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by friends over at A1 Gear and Auto. Reach out to them today if you have any automotive issues or need any basic maintenance done. They got you covered, from oil changes, brake repairs, replacements, air conditioning, Freon recharges, leak fixes, any of that. They got you covered. Complete engine rebuilds, you name it, they can do it. But what they specialize in is your ring and pinion, your front end, your rear end, the gears that make your vehicle go down the road. Jeep people, especially, I'm talking to you all or anybody else. You've gone and bought you a stock vehicle. You've put some big wheels and tires on it, big oversized wheels and tires. And you're like, man, this thing ain't got the power it used to have. Why can't I get out the way when I pull on the interstate and try to go around these folks? I feel like I'm going to get run over. Well, that's because that factory ring and pinion, those gears, it's not built for those big tires. It's built to get you good gas mileage and run at a low RPM at high speeds. You need to go and get the proper ring and pinion put in. If you actually want to get a lower gear, which is actually a higher number, it's hard to explain if you don't understand it. You know, like for example, your factory may come with like some 352s or 353s or something. You may need to get some 412s or 411s or 373s in there. They'll explain it better than me. And that way you get that low end torque back, and when you can get on it, we go womp, womp, get on out the way. Now your gas mileage is going to go to hell in a handbasket, but you already know that with those big wheels and tires. It'll actually improve a little bit because it ain't struggling as much. Anyway, they can do that there, is my point. So check them out and let them get your 4-wheel drive and all that working good for hunting season. All right. A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Big white building, big red sign. The only thing they don't work on is diesel engines. They can do all the other work to diesel vehicles. They just ain't working on the diesel engine internals. They'll recommend it to somebody else, or we can recommend you to somebody, one of our great advertisers here on WYAB that might work on diesel engines. All right, man, let's get back to it, shall we? Let's read some of the live chats here real quick and see what folks are saying over there. I'm sure it is a lovely, lovely place to be this morning. Anytime I talk about these kind of things, it always goes well. Somebody said the rack and pinion. No, I'm not talking about rack and pinion. I'm talking about a ring and pinion, not rack and pinion. Ring and pinion. Did I say it right? Rack and pinion. Anyway, I'm talking about the gears in the back of the truck. I think it's the ring and pinion. Yeah. Rack and pinion, that's the front end. Oh, anyway, now you got me thinking, am I wrong? Well, you don't matter. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So let's see here. Somebody said, why are you back on Facebook? Thought you were done with that hot mess. The trolls are out in full force. Yeah, you know what? That's right. We said we were going to cut Facebook off. Let's cut Facebook off. Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, move over to the YouTube or anywhere else. We are done with Facebook. We just like to start there and remind people to move over. So thank you for the reminder about Facebook. I get to rolling, man, and I forget. You know, Facebook's a strange place. It will put your content in front of the people that dislike it the most. And it ain't just mine. It puts content in front of me that I dislike. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't really want to see the stuff not that I'm opposed to seeing things I disagree with. I mean, I'm not soft like that. But it's like, I don't understand what the point of keeping you angry all the time is. I really don't. It's a bit mind-boggling to me. Somebody said your rack is the front end. Now, the rack is your steering components. And I'm not talking about your steering components. I'm talking about the gears in your front end of either your front wheel drive vehicle or your 4-wheel drive in your transfer case. That's your ring. Your rack is your steering. I'm not talking about that. Let's see here. I'm just kind of strolling through these comments here to see if there's anything that I want to highlight. I can't, man. Y'all are having your own conversations over there. So we'll let y'all continue to have your conversations over there. It doesn't make for good radio trying to go through them. That is one of the great things about having my buddy in here on the rest of the week. I want to go to a video I found. So this is how much time? Dang it, man. We're out of time. We are out of time for this hour for the most part. I don't have time to play this video. I discovered something this morning, and we'll just play it at the top of the next hour. And it's called Black Paranoia Phenomenon. And we're going to tie all that into the Nolan Wells case. And it's it blames the media to an extent for keeping black folks so worked up, thinking there's a white supremacist hanging around every corner waiting to jump out and get them. And this is one of the biggest things I talk about. And it's why y'all call me a racist and all this other stuff, because I just don't buy into all of this anti-black racism that y'all tell me is out there. That doesn't make me a racist. I mean, hell, I got called a racist yesterday because I was slightly critical of the Lil Wayne concert the other night. One guy told me on Instagram, I've defended you and all of this, but this is too far. This is racist. I'm like, bro, I didn't say one thing that wasn't true. They had him scheduled for 9:50. They moved him to 9. He started at 9:30. 2 Chainz didn't show up, and he come out playing a damn guitar. Not a word about that was untrue. And I gave my opinion. I said, and this is why they don't book a lot of rap shows. It's because of the unpredictability. Now, you can argue that I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have spoke on behalf or come across like I was speaking on behalf of Live Nation or the city of Brandon. Let me clear this up. I did not speak on behalf of either one of them. That was my opinion. But I would think the lack of rap shows the last 7 years would somewhat back that up. And I told them as much as that on the phone yesterday when they called me upset about it. I think the lack of rap shows the last 7 years suggests that somebody ain't a big fan of booking rap shows at the Brandon Amphitheater. I don't think I'm telling you that the water's wet or the sky's blue there. Or I think we already know. But anyway, I digress. We'll come back and we're going to talk about this whole black paranoia syndrome.
Shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
Located in Ridgeland and Flora, come see me, Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
All right, welcome back in. This is our little short segment here. When we come back, we're going to play the video. I got cut off there at the last segment. We're going to play this video I got queued up about Black Paranoia Syndrome, where it says Black Paranoia and Media Incited Murder. It's about Nolan Wells, but it's also just about the broader picture of the media pushing a false narrative that Black people are under attack by roving bands of white racists, and that with just zero evidence of that, by the way. It's pretty interesting video we've got here. It's about 4 minutes long. Now, I don't try not to play a lot of long videos on the show, but I think it helps drive the point home. When we finish that, we're going to follow that up with some new information on Nolan Wells. The family is finally, after we broke the story here on this show, finally ready to do a joint forensic investigation of the phone. They're going to be wildly disappointed what they find in that phone or don't find. Again, it's like, has anybody ever just asked the question, like, how do y'all know anything was deleted? They went from some text deleted to some Snapchats deleted to even at one point claiming the whole phone had been wiped. And they got to back all that up. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Cleanup operations continue across the Midwest following deadly flooding. Indiana especially hard hit, says ABC Chief Climate Correspondent Ginger Z.
The city of Carmel, Indiana, is still reeling from flooding over the past week. Authorities warning that a major sewer line has a 90% chance of collapsing.
We're tracking your needs, and we will get you resources.
Governor Mike Braun offering $5,000 emergency grants to people affected by the storms.
We want displaced Hoosiers to have a hot meal, comfortable bed, and get into air conditioning.
Bridges destroyed and streets still underwater.
Today, there will be major heat in the south. Oklahoma City, Dallas, New Orleans, Pensacola expected to be in the triple digits with high humidity. Oil prices are up again as the 60-day memorandum of understanding on a ceasefire with Iran expires. President Trump is now threatening to bomb U.S. ally Oman if that country gets in the way of his goals in the Strait of Hormuz. Social media giant Meta in court. This lawsuit, beginning in California, was brought by nearly 30 states who argue that features on Instagram and Facebook have a negative effect on young people's mental health. ABC's Mike Dubusky with more on the fines Meta could be forced to pay.
In court filings, Meta estimates it could be forced to pay damages up to $1.4 trillion if it loses this case, though Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers has called that number unreasonable, according to the outlet Law 360. Meta recently revealed it spent $2.4 billion on legal expenses in the second quarter of 2026 alone. And while that's relatively small potatoes for such a large company, it could add up, with hundreds of similar cases expected to go to trial in the coming months. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The CDC now says the rate of vaccine exemptions for American kindergartners has reached a record high. Records show most kids are not getting their annual shots because of non-medical reasons, such as religion. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes.
News this hour brought to you by Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon and Skag Zero-Turn Mowers and Products. Simply the best.
A man is dead. 2 masked men are responsible, say police. A heat advisory is in effect for today with a high at 99 and a heat index possibly up to 107. A slight chance for storms overnight with a low at 75. The high is 100 and it's sunny Wednesday. Thursday, you get a 40% chance for afternoon storms. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. A man was shot and killed at the intersection of Douglas and Collier Avenues Monday afternoon just after 1:30, says Jackson Police Chief Dr. Rachel Brackney, and she says the people police believe did it were wearing masks and may be hard to identify. The victim was a 31-year-old man, and the motive for the killing was unclear. Jackson has a problem with JTRAN, the city bus system, says Peter Tewison, the chief administrative officer for the city.
But what we can't do is continue to buy 35 and 40-foot buses. Run them that are generally empty.
During city budget hearings Monday,
there are folks out here in communities not too far from us that are embracing new and improved ideas, and we need to do the same thing.
One of those new ideas may be smaller buses, which is what some cities with similar public transit issues are doing. Nolan Wells' phone may get the joint forensic examination that attorney Ben Crump says is needed to find out more about the circumstances around his death, and that may happen this week, says Crump, who says the state's experts and experts for their legal team will do that together. Clinton schools are some of the best in the country, says a new report from Stanford Education Data Archive. They also rank around the top of all Mississippi schools. That is based on scores from standardized tests for English and math. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
So when are you going to check that thing off your to-do list?
Right, that. I don't know. How about next week?
How about now?
Or I could do it later, right?
No more putting it off. Do it now so you don't forget. You want this and have for a while.
You're right. I want this.
You deserve this, and it can help you in the long run. There. I just logged on to homescc.edu. We're getting you registered right now.
Wait. Hold up. I thought you had to show up on site to register at Homes.
You can do either one. You know that career you talk about all the time? The life you dream about? It starts today. How does that famous quote go?
Don't. Please don't.
The secret to getting ahead is
getting started.
Register at a campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homescc.edu. And remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
No place like Holmes.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying that made the times you live in be interesting? We've accomplished that.
More testosterone for your morning drive.
When you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal, and they don't care, and everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now, and I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a motherfucker.
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added.
Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. We are coming at you live here on the 50,000 MAGA watt. You don't know what a MAGA watt is? I made it up because I'm all about that MAGA. Some of y'all all about that bass. I'm all about that MAGA, that MAGA, that MAGA, that make America great again, that MAGA. Okay, stop. 50,000 MAGA watt flamethrower. I'm acting like a bit of a flamethrower this morning, ain't I? Anyway, welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. The most incendiary show in all of America. The show that ain't scared to talk about real things, real topics, real people, and real talk. That's why I call it reality radio. You know, like some people change the names to protect the innocent or the guilty. I just blabber it all out. We don't change any names around here. We're very upfront about what we do, who we talk about, what we talk about. All gas, no brakes, as I like to say. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at, how about my friends right over there at Cypress Point Resort? Get out there this week, check them out. I talked about it the other day. They got cabins back in the back, man. You can do a staycation. It's going to be football season before you know it. And I don't know about y'all, when I really anchor down and watch college football, I want to anchor down on the couch for the day at a bar or wherever. And you know what else I want to do? I want to not have to worry about going home, getting ready to go come back for round 2 of the night games. And I damn sure don't want to have to worry about negotiating a designated driver, an Uber, any of that stuff. Let me pitch something to you real quick here. What if you did a staycation right out there at Cypress Point Resort and you did some home gating and staycationing all at one-stop shop? Right here in the Tri-County area, rent one of the cabins back in the back. They're super cool. They're affordable, around $100, give or take. Call them to get the exact quote. It's $100 to $150, something like that, after the cleaning expenses, taxes, and all that. Not expensive at all, especially if you consider an Uber ride to and from. All right. They'll give you a little shuttle service, like from the bar to the back, from the back to the bar. Usually you just ask. You got the big bar up front. You got the big sports bar with all the TVs, open air, live entertainment at nighttime, steakhouse. You got a grocery store in there or a butcher shop. You got grills back in the back. You can buy steaks, light up a grill at one of the cabins, eat at the steakhouse, whatever. Point being, you do not have to leave that property for any reason all weekend long. Some people go spend money like down in Gulf Shores for the weekend. Now, granted, you got, the beach down there. I mind you. But you don't have to do that. You can go stay at one of the coolest sports bars, restaurant, resorts, and it's even got a drive-through petting zoo with exotic animals right here in Central Mississippi. It's just something neat to do. People always complain about there ain't nothing to do around here. And sometimes you just got to get creative. I've done it. I stayed a whole weekend out there last year. Had a blast. I think I stayed 2 nights. I think I did. I know I stayed 1. I think I stayed 2. No, I did. I stayed out there. I got there Saturday morning, and I didn't leave till Sunday. And, man, I had a blast. I picked a weekend. There was going to be a really good band, a lot of great college football games, and did a staycation. Man, it was so much fun. And it wasn't all that expensive. I bet you I probably spent $300 all in. Food, drink, stay in the night. You go try to leave town for $300. Tell me how far you get. What that Raptor would take in gas, is what my room costs for the night. Anyway, just thought, check them out online, Cypress Point Resort. I think it's cypresspointms.com. Just kind of plan you a little staycation this year. Or just go out there and eat lunch one day this week. All right. Let's go to this video that I want to play here. Oh, the Ellis Autoplex text line. And we're going to start reading all your texts here in this next segment. 769-241-1944. And of course, we're streaming worldwide and live on the Mazda of Jackson live stream. I see all the live chats rolling in. Shout out to the YouTube mods. Andrew is our newest. Andrew, Justin, and Lil Nikki. All right, well, let's pull this video up here. Get my channel turned up here. This is really interesting. I found this morning, and it was just right on time for what I wanted to talk about today. This is from a guy, I don't know, the name of the page, Identity Politics. Let's follow that. All right, so here we go. It's called Black Paranoia Phenomenon.
So there's this kid, Nolan Wells, black kid. He goes out with his friends to Horn Island in Mississippi on July 4th. His friends, who are white kids, claim he stayed behind on this island with some other people, maybe a girl. It's understood he's going to come back later. Never does. He's reported missing. One of his friends says this to the Coast Guard around 11 p.m. They find his body like 2 days later. The sheriff initially says they do not believe a crime has occurred. The area is well known for rip currents. The most obvious explanation is that he drowned. But the internet has concluded, of course, they must have murdered him. Nolan Wells' family goes. And they hire Ben Crump. Who is that? He is probably the leading racial ambulance chaser in the country. Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Michael Brown, you name it. Any of those cases, this guy's mixed up in it. So now it's a racial thing. There's no evidence. There's no evidence there was a murder at all, but this is what he's going with. We have investigators talking to witnesses that have no alignment, no alliance to the state, and that's important, he said, when you think about Mississippi and their history. He even invoked Emmett Till. So this is what he's doing. So now this is a federal issue.
Hit the like button if you're tired of them invoking Emmett Till.
And they say, well, have there been any charges in this case? Like, what's going on? Here's the funny thing. There actually have been charges already against people in this case, but not against any of the white kids or anyone directly involved.
Or anybody white at all.
3 people from outside Mississippi have been charged in separate federal cases. This from Newsweek. Edward James Porter of Illinois was charged after allegedly threatening a
black
witness and members of a witness's family. According to court filings, he allegedly threatened to kill individuals connected to the investigation and their relatives. Then you have Michelle Francine Edwards of Ohio.
No relation, by the way.
She was charged after allegedly making bomb threats, targeting Mississippi government offices, including the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And then you've got another guy, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumarce.
Do I have to tell you? Not white nor black.
California, of course, was charged after allegedly sending a threatening message to a Jackson County Chancery Court judge.
Dude, this is like the 3rd time that I've heard somebody from outside Mississippi refer to a Chancery Court as chicanery. Like, how do you look at Chancery and get chicanery? Jason Whitlock did it the other day too. And I love Jason Whitlock, but he did this whole spiel about how Ben Crump can't read. And then he gonna sit there and call Chancery chicanery.
Connected to matters surrounding the investigation. Prosecutors and investigators said none of the 3 defendants appear to know Wells, his family, or the group of friends who were with him on July 4th. So you have 3 randos who aren't connected to any of these people, but they see stuff on the internet, and now they're threatening to kill people. And these are just the people who've been arrested so far. What do they always say? Why do blacks commit crime? Because the media stereotypes them. And that's why they do it. No. What they found is the opposite. They found that blacks fear whites because they believe what they see on TV. It makes them think white criminals are everywhere and out to get them. In 1 month's time, CNN has published 22 articles pushing a disproven conspiratorial hoax that white people killed Nolan Wells. We'll see what happens with it, but there's certainly no evidence for that yet. During the same time, 0 articles about. First, August 4th, 2026, murder of Frederick K. Litton, 56.
What we're talking about here now for the radio audience is these are white people who were killed by black people that the media doesn't talk about at all. And because we don't get up and go riot, burn down things, march, holler White Lives Matter, or any of that, it just doesn't get the attention. We don't say their names. Should we get more active like that? I mean, real talk. Well, let's just finish the video. Let me run it back just a second here. Here we go.
First, August 4th, 2026, murder of Frederick K. Litton, 56. Suspect is a 19-year-old black co-worker. July 31st, 2026, murder of...
Full stop. for the benefit of the radio audience. The black coworker, 19-year-old, tarantula head.
Samuel Miley, 15, in the Lafayette neighborhood. Black male, 20, arrested. July 29th, 2026, hate crime style double murder of Dustin Rose, 19, and Samson Campbell, 18, black male, 17, arrested. July 27th.
Tarantula head. Full tarantula head.
2026.
Looks like the singer of Rage Against the Machine.
Murder of Christine Dixon, 57, during a mass shooting by a still at-large black male.
Well, hold on. Would he say a mass shooting? Now, hold on a damn minute. Hold on.
Murder of Christine Dixon, 57, during a mass shooting by a still at-large black male.
A mass shooting by a black male. Now, I had it on good authority, that black people didn't do random mass shootings. I was told by the culture that black folks don't do the mass shooting thing. I've gotten some bad information. One of us must be wrong. I wonder who.
July 26, 2026, murder of Croy Gluten, 22, allegedly by his black friend. July 24th.
But hold on now. I was just told that black folks can't have white friends because white friends will kill black person. But this right here would seem to debunk that. It clearly said white guy killed by his black friend.
July 26, 2026, murder of Croy Gluten, 22, allegedly by his black friend. July 24th, 2026, unprovoked hate crime murder of Susan Gerke, 61, by a black male while she sat on her porch. July 23rd, 2026, so-called road rage murder of Tyler Sieber, 26, by an at-large black male. July 22nd, 2026, father of 4, Vincent Strotzel, 29, allegedly murdered by black coworker. And July 20th, 2026, racially motivated triple murder by an Ethiopian immigrant. None of it's even news.
Now, what the culture will say is, but you don't know what they said to them black folks to provoke that killing. They might have called them the word. Clay, they may have said the word. And you know once the word is spoken, all bets are off. Or Clay. They may have touched a black boy. Don't you know black boys have boundaries? You can't touch a black boy.
None of it even matters. No one who matters cares. No one.
I care.
If they do care, they think it's funny.
I don't.
It just goes on and on and on. But if you notice it, you're the problem.
So the name of that page is Identity Politics. Man, I'm going to share the link to that. Hey, we're going to share it on my page right now. We're going to type must watch now. Should I put the little red sirens on each end of it to be emphatic about it? I like my little red sirens. They get people's attention. It means urgent. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got the sirens on it now. I mean business. Now people know they got to watch it now. Let me close the gap there. All right, must watch now.
So there's this kid.
Let's share the link in the comments. Here.
Nolan.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep doing that. Let me just pull the volume down there. Let's share the link in the comments here. And look, am I being dramatic about this? Well, I am. Because apparently somebody needs to be. What in the world is going on? What in the blue hell is going on out there? Why are we being hunted down and killed? And nothing is being said about it other than on little irrelevant platforms like this. I don't think it's irrelevant. Apparently Live Nation don't think it's irrelevant. But, apparently y'all, all up in my comments, don't think it's irrelevant. But y'all like to say that. Who are you trying to convince? Who are you trying to convince that we are relevant around here? Yourselves? It ain't me. I know what we've built here. We have built an absolute machine, a monstrosity of a show, of a platform, of a movement. And we will steam roll right over your butts when we ever really want to. If we ever get really tired and fed up with this nonsense, well, we can get organized too. Organized, energized, unsupervised. We about that life too. We about that life. We don't want to be. Don't have to be. But not only are y'all blaming us for heinous crimes that we have no want, will, or need to commit, but you're also doing textbook gaslighting. You're doing to us what you're blaming us doing to you. And in that video, now that was only about murders. And we ain't even talked about this on this show. They didn't even hit the Irina Izhutska, I know I'm saying her name wrong. They didn't even talk about the Ukrainian white girl that got murdered on the train by the black guy in Charlotte. Just sitting there minding her own business, just made the fatal mistake of sitting in front of a black guy on a bus. They didn't talk about, was this in Charlotte also was that Charlotte last week too, where the black guy was running around randomly beating up white women? Talking about something about I'm guessing maybe his son at some point had been sexually assaulted. I don't know, a family member and sexually assaulted. I think his name was Elijah or something. I don't know why I remember that. Talking about something they had done to Elijah. They don't even know this man, don't know his son or the guy he's claiming was his son. I mean, I hated if his son was sexually assaulted by somebody, but it was probably him. The way he was acting. We didn't even talk about that. Could you imagine? I know people get mad at me when I play the could you imagine game. Could you imagine the media outrage if a white man was running around a park randomly assaulting black women? I just want y'all to think about that for just a second here. And recording himself doing it, by the way, as this guy was on Facebook Live or whatever. Could y'all imagine the reaction from the media? And look, black people out there listening this morning, I'm not talking about y'all necessarily. I'm talking about black people doing these heinous crimes, but I'm not talking about black people. What I'm talking about, and I wish I was better at articulating things sometimes, I'm actually making an excuse for you, so to say, or for the people I'm talking about, because I believe the media plays such a role in getting you guys so worked up and scared to death that the supremacy is hanging around every corner, waiting to jump out and get you, that it's making some of you crazy. I truly do. I've talked about it when I've interviewed law enforcement on this show, about how unfortunately that a lot of black folks act on traffic stops. When it turns into this really tense, hyper unnecessarily dramatic confrontation. Just high anxiety is the word I'm looking for. This high anxiety confrontation for no reason. But they're freaking out. It makes the cop freak out. And next thing you know, somebody does something stupid like not comply or run or fight or whatever. And it ends up, well, a lot of the times with a dead black person. And then the aftermath that comes from that. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, now let's jump in some of these comments here for a minute. I mean, again, I'm a bull in a china shop. These are what we call tough conversations, and they have to be had. Because if we continue to ignore this from our side, that's what's happened like the last 30, 40 years is white people have ignored it, not pushed back, made excuses, went along to get along. And now that if we do any criticizing or any stepping up and speaking out on any of this, it's called racism, or it's white privilege or white supremacy or whatever. I'm like, man, no, we're allowed to speak out on what we see with our own eyes, on when we're victims of Black culture, right? You know, we're allowed to speak out. You're allowed to speak out on it when you think it happens to y'all. Why aren't we allowed to speak on it? I don't call you a racist when you talk about somebody Black being killed by somebody white, but if I talk about it, I'm a racist. Circle that square for me. I'm the voice of a bunch of people who are fed up with this. You know, unfortunately, because y'all love to run out and try to cancel people and get people fired and all this stuff for having the audacity to speak out, they're not as loud as I am. And that's why y'all try so hard to make me go away. I mean, y'all have tried everything to make me go away because y'all do not like somebody being able to come out here and speak the truth. Gary says, preach it, bro. I'm trying, man. You know, like I mean, I hate this. I didn't ask to end up in this situation. It just kind of happened. You know, I didn't want to be the voice of the voiceless here. Forever, and I still to this day will tell you, I think I'm just telling you water's wet and the sky is blue. You know? Tommy Tatum, shout out to Tommy. He'll be on the show tomorrow. Says where Ben Crump used fake witnesses, where Ben Crump used a fake witness in the beginning of the color revolution under Obama. Yeah. Oh, okay, I see. I'm reading it backwards here. He says it all started with Trayvon Martin when Ben Crump used a fake witness in the beginning of the color revolution under Obama. Yeah, nailed it. Now, that makes more sense now. Thank you, Tommy. Tommy, if you want to call in this morning, shoot me a text and let me know. I would love to get your take on this. Greg says, I think you're speaking the absolute truth, and I want you to keep on speaking it, brother. I am going to. We're about to come back from break. I got to be quiet for a sec.
Brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here, 103.9 WYAB, 103.9 FM. This segment brought to you by our friends over at H&H Chief Sales, man. My good buddy, Mr. Noah Sullivan. I would like to invite all of y'all to come up and see him in Carthage, Mississippi. Make that little short drive for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells cargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. I won't take a deep dive. I'll just give you a quick reminder. The Candy utility vehicles are those super cool candy colored and regular colored golf carts, the 2-seaters, 4-seaters, 6-seaters. They have the utility beds on them if you need it. I think they're made here in America, but they're also, H&H is a certified repair shop for them. Service center, I guess the technical word, certified service center. So if you have any warranty issues, you need anything done under warranty, they can fix them under warranty. If they're not under warranty, they can still repair them. They can get parts for them, all of that. That's one of the biggest problems with all these electric golf carts now, especially, this ain't no knock on any local business that sells them, but it's just the truth. A lot of these hardware stores and stuff sell these kind of cheap Japanese, Chinese, electric four-wheelers, golf carts, all that stuff. And man, if something happens to them, I mean, they're just trash because you can't get parts for them. You can't fix them. Nobody wants to work on them. I talked to my buddy Joe McNamee. I know I said his name over at Southeastern Power Sports last year, 2 years ago, when he was advertising with us. And it was one of the points he made about those things. He's like, man, we can't work on them. He's like, they're trash. He's like, you can't get parts for them. And you got to have like 3 or 4 of them, and you just got to make donor parts. Try to hope you can make one. It really, really, really stuck with me. Don't buy that cheap stuff just because you can afford it. Try to find a way to buy the better stuff, or buy something from somewhere that can service it and get the parts for these things. Sorry, I jumped down these rabbit holes with these live reads, but dang it, that's important. And that's why you want to go buy from somewhere like H&H. So look, they got the golf carts there, and look, they can also custom build and do any welding for your farm equipment, trailers, any of that stuff. And you already know that last name Sullivan, they are the innovators of trailer hitches, receiver hitches, all of that stuff. So anything you need in that nature, they got you covered. hhchiefsales.com, or go see them in person right up there on Highway 35 North in Carthage, Mississippi. That's H&H Chief Sales. Tell Nolan, tell Noah Sullivan Clay sent you. All right, let's read a couple of texts here real quick on the Ellis Autoplex text line. Let's see here. Unknown texter says, hey, don't forget about the older couple in Mendenhall that was killed by the black kid. Yeah, man, that's right here in Mississippi, right? Black kid breaks in the house, kills that older couple down there in Mendenhall. We were I wouldn't call it lucky, but just the timing worked out. We're coming back from the coast, end up coming through Mendenhall as that's popping off, broke that story, and then ended up broadcasting live from pretty close to the scene. Tragic situation there. But of course, why don't the race narrative ever get brought up there? Again, I'll ask you, tell me where the lie is at. If that had been a white boy that broke into a black older couple's home and killed them and robbed them, what do y'all think the narrative would be? Ben Crump and Al Sharpton would have been fighting each other. The fact they're working together is just great. It tells you what a crock of crap this whole Nolan Wells thing is. The fact that Crump and Sharpton are tag team back again is because the fact they're working together. It's really all I need to see was either one of them, but them together, they know this is a load of crap. They're always on the wrong side of these things every single time. But I mean, just imagine, if you will, white 20-something, 19-year-old, whatever, breaks into home, kills innocent old black couple. It'd be tragic, by the way. No old couple, no innocent person deserves to be murdered, period, but especially in their home for no reason. Well, you don't know why he did it. I literally saw people say this. You don't know why he did it. He used to work for them. Maybe they owed him some money. Oh, okay. Okay. So that maybe they owed him $5, $50, $500, $5,000. That's justifiable. The man and his wife being murdered in their home is justifiable because maybe he owed them some money. Maybe he was mean to the little babies. Maybe he was a little mean to them. Maybe he actually expected them to work for their money. No, you don't know how he treated them. I don't care how he treated them. I don't care if he called them the word. None of that justifies somebody breaking in your house at a later date and killing you. But the culture lives by these weird fake La Cosa Nostra laws But the part they forget is with their whole no snitching stuff, the part the culture forgets is the other party has to have agreed to the La Cosa Nostra laws. You breaking in a house and killing somebody's women and children, that ain't how it works. First off, no women, no children. They're off limits. Also, I made a video about this yesterday or the day before. Sunday night, Jackson, Mississippi, over by Smith Park. Somebody gets shot and killed. Young black dude. Shocker. Shot and killed at a park. How many witnesses do you think there were? I'll tell you, 200. 200 people at that park at 11:58 p.m. on Sunday night, almost Monday. First off, what in the blue hell are y'all doing at a park at almost midnight, 200 strong on a Sunday? It doesn't matter. But what I'm making a point here is, guess what? Didn't nobody see nothing? Nobody saw a thing. 200 people out there didn't see anything. But y'all know where I'm going with this if you've already watched my video I made. I bet you dollars to donuts, those same 200 people, hashtag culture rot, are convinced that somebody at Horn Island saw something and they're just not speaking up about Nolan Wells. Why ain't they saying something? You know they know. You know somebody saw something. Why ain't them white folks talking about what happened to Nolan Wells? Somebody saw something. But man, when it happens to them and their community by one of them, it's zip. Throw away the key. Ain't nobody see nothing? I ain't see nothing. Nothing. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody died? What? The code of silence, boy. The culture rot code of silence. Never been louder, has it? Never been more emphatic, has it? I had to come on this show and talk about uncomfortable things that I don't want to talk about. I had to come on and start the show this morning talking about a former guest who tried to outrun the popos, wrecked his vehicle, flipped it multiple times. What was he running from the cops for? Well, apparently he was having an affair with an underage girl. That's an uncomfortable conversation when you have to talk about that. When you've affiliated your brand with somebody who is accused of such atrocities. And I'll be the first to tell you, why would an innocent man run from the police? It ain't looking good. But my point is, we don't ignore those things. We talk about them. Why ain't the black community calling this out? Why ain't y'all saying, hey man, somebody saw something in that park in Jackson. There was 200 of you there. Who shot the boy? I ain't seen nothing. Man, I don't know. I ain't seen nothing. So, look, take that same energy. Take that same energy. If you was out at Horn Island, I ain't seen nothing. I don't know what happened to that boy. So you don't like it when the script is flipped, do you? One thing about them tables, they always gonna change. They always gonna flip. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB.
Who said you can have too much of a good thing? Not at Mazzo Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit. Come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. That's more room for you and your cargo, making the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. Mazda Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
For over 2 decades, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for auto repair and maintenance. Brake repair and replacement, radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, AC, and water pumps. A1 will get your vehicle back up and running fast. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, rings, and pinions. A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 in Florence. A1 Gear and Auto, your trusted auto repair shop.
Remember when Saturday meant tackling 3 projects before lunch? Now you need a nap after buying the lumber. It doesn't happen all at once. Energy slips away a little at a time. Focus does too. The team at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men get answers to low testosterone, fatigue, weight gain, and more. Because getting older is mandatory. Feeling old is optional. Learn more at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
Located in Ridgeland and Flora, come see me, Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. The segment brought to you by our friends over at 042 Wine and Spirits. It's what's today? Today, Tuesday. Seems like a great day to swing by, get stocked up over there with over 400 different whiskeys and bourbons to choose from. 200 different, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Over 400 different wines to choose from. 200 different bourbons and whiskeys, up to 50 different vodkas, 50 different tequilas, and more. And of course, they got all the ready-to-drink cocktails. That's a nice little flavored in a can or however they're served, little cocktails, gin and juice, for example, got that. Margaritas, got that. These aren't malt liquor. These ain't beer that you get at the gas station that's flavored like that. This is actual mixed drinks. They got those Jack Daniels mixed drinks. Oh, so good, man. Swing by, check them out today. Got all your favorite little travel size shot bottles. Yeah, I know I love those little the different flavors of those moonshine bottles, the little mini mason jar shots. Oh man, those things are so good. The banana pudding flavor. Oh man. I'm telling you, I wish they just made a virgin version of it, because I would just consume it way more than I needed to. But man, all them carbs you get me. But man, it'd be worth it. Be worth it. Check them out today. 042 Wine and Spirits, locally owned and award-winning with a huge, huge selection right there in Rankin County, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Mississippi, right next to Sonny's Barbecue, right next door to Sonny's Barbecue. All right, man. I mean, look, that's a pretty intense segment there. But the truth is intense. It just is. We ain't spoke one lie. Like, tell me where the lie's at. You can't. You may not like the words coming out of my mouth. Well, I'm not here to make you like me. I don't care if you like me. If you do, that's just a bonus. So there are some updates in this Nolan Wells case. How much time we got? We got about 7 or 8 minutes here. Let's check out the updates here. Now, we may have loosely touched on these yesterday. I just reported a profile. I want to see something. Says by the way, here's a little scam alert on Facebook. I got a message a second ago from Meta AI, and it was basically saying that I had violated community standards and I needed to verify my account. Little do they know that I have done a lot of violating of community standards, according to them. And I know what a violation actually looks like. You'll get that in your notifications, not in your DMs. So, of course, what that was a phishing scam. I reported it, and I just got a message back from Facebook that says, we took action on the account for not following our community standards. So, good job, Facebook. They actually probably deleted that account pretending to be them. So, let's check this out here. So, family of Nolan Wells ready for joint forensic investigation or inspection of the phone, according to Ben Crump. The legal team for the family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, when they want you to know he's black, they put that Xavier in there. When they want to make sure, in case you don't know, when they want you to know he's black, they put that third name, they put that middle name in there. Nolan Xavier Wells, that douchebag Secret Service Sam on Facebook, he always puts the Xavier in there when he talks about, when he gets ready to load up his lies and make his videos. He always makes sure you know it's Xavier. Anyway, family of 18-year-old Nolan Wells announced Monday that they are ready to immediately turn over his phone for a joint forensic examination, putting their experts on standby to conduct the inspection any day this week. Well, who are they? Are they calling in Kimbra Lee? Are they calling in Secret Service Sam? Maybe Nancy Grace? What about Don Lemon? Who are their experts? Some Facebook wine mom that thinks she's a private eye? The body of 18-year-old Nolan Wells was found in the water just off Horn Island on the Monday of July 6th. He was reported missing the night of July 4th after he didn't return from a boating trip with his friends. Nationally renowned civil rights attorney and personal injury lawyer Ben Crump, along with the Wells family's legal team, sent correspondence to DA Angel Myers McClareth on Monday. In the letter, the legal team requested that the DA's office select a time between Tuesday, August 18th and Friday, August 21st to carry out the analysis. The proposed dates represent the earliest window available under the 12-hour notice window required for both parties to assemble their respective experts. Quote, we are eager to comply with the agreement we entered on July 15th, which is a joint forensic examination of Nolan's phone conducted together with their experts, our experts, and possibly the FBI, the legal team said in a statement. Quote, our experts are on standby. The family is ready. Both parties originally agreed upon the joint examination on July 15th. The family is also asking the DA's office to confirm if the inspection will still take place at the Digital Forensics Lab at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, a location previously selected by the state. Says, quote, the family wants Nolan's phone examined the right way with both parties in the room. The statement continued, all parties agreed on July 15th that we share the same goal, which is determining the circumstances surrounding Nolan Wells' death. The family is ready to move forward on that goal this week. Now, again, I broke this story before anybody else that the boys begged the FBI, the DA, anybody, please take our phones, examine our phones. All the way back on July 15th, I believe. Let me pull up the tweet right here real quick. I thought I had it pulled. Give me 2 seconds. Pull the tweet back up. Thank you, Chris Hinkle, for sending that to me. It says, he also posted this on Facebook. This is from their attorney, Ed Paltsky. Paltzik. I mean, I can never get his name right. Ed Paltzik. It says, well, anyway, I'm not going to read all that. But back in July, early July, I want to say around the 15th, the boys and their attorneys begged the FBI to take and examine their phones. And I'm just curious. I mean, does that sound like the actions of a guilty person that's begging the FBI to take their phones and examine them? No, it doesn't. I'll answer the question for you. It's rhetorical. Here's what Ed says. It's too long. It's too long to read. But you can find it on his Facebook and all that. Long story short, he's calling out Nancy Grace. Why haven't the Crump folks and Nolan Wells' mother turned over Nolan's phone? Because I think they know that what they've accused these boys of, or these accusations they've made, they're not going to be able to back up. And the damages they've done to race relations in this state are irreparable. Because, now white folks have spoken out and said, damn it, we're tired of being falsely accused of this crap. And black folks, because they're so unused to being criticized or told you're full of crap by white people for the last 40 years, because everybody's always agreed. Nobody ever pushed back or argued. When black folks said something was racist, people just went along with it and agreed. Well, how would I know? I'm not black. They say it's racist to them. Who am I to say? Well, now we're pushing back and saying, hey, you know what? You're wrong. As a matter of fact, you ain't just wrong. You're lying, and you're intentionally lying. And they're not used to it. I mean, that's why they've had to gather the forces, gather the masses. All the big names, all the heavy hitters in the civil rights movement. That's why they're having to go to the NAACP meetings, the Urban League meetings, and all these big gatherings of the black elites to posse up and push this lie. Thank you, guys. We ain't done. We ain't done. This story ain't done. It ain't nowhere near over. But that's what they're having to do. They're having to get, they are going deep into the bench, into the bullpen, and pulling out everybody they can to try to make Christine Wansley Wells, or Wells Wansley, whatever her name is. They're trying to turn her into Mamie Till. They're trying to turn Nolan into Emmett Till. And they're trying to do all of this without a lick of evidence to back up anything they're saying. And they're just painting this woman as a victim. And, and all that would be fine if she wasn't playing her part to paint these boys as the perpetrators, as guilty. She could go out there and paint herself as all the victims she wanted to, if she wasn't in turn taking part in ruining these innocent men's lives. There was another way to do this, and her still get to play the victim card. She didn't have to point the finger at the wrong people. There was a whole island full of people left out there with Nolan that she could have pointed that finger at and said, we think something happened to him after the other boys left. But she refused to do that. She's let the internet run wild. She's played into it. Crump has played into it. They refuse to answer any questions. They're not used to criticism. The black racist industrial complex, the black for a living industrial complex, are not used to pushback. People are actually asking questions, demanding answers, demanding you actually show us facts. This is blowing up on them in live time. They did not expect the town of Ocean Springs to push back, the state of Mississippi to say, you know what, we've had enough of the damn lies. I love it. I hope this makes a difference in the big picture moving forward. That people are fed up with this crap, and we will not continue to sit here and take it from them, from Ben Crump, from Christine Wansley, Al Sharpton, and any other race grifting idiot moving forward. This has been the Clay Edwards Show. I will see y'all tomorrow. God bless. Godspeed. I'm out.